welcome back to the Cent Cigar Newscast. I'm Evan McAlice.
And I'm Imani Fleming. Thanks for joining us.
Today, we have a first-hand account on the conditions in China due to the novel coronavirus outbreak.
The University of Rhode Island's Department of Art and Art History is showcasing a non-traditional exhibit and bringing new perspective to our Think Big motto.
Local bands and artists get their time to shine at the Musicians Guild Club's open mic last Friday.
And make sure to stick around for our Valentine's Day edition of Campus Chatter and Rhody Sports Corner on this week's Cent Cigar Newscast.
Seven URI students were evacuated from their study abroad programs in China after concerns over the 2019 novel coronavirus outbreak. Our very own Leah Crowley spoke with one of these students to get their perspective.
Around 1 year ago, Sarah Chambers was performing in the Memorial Union Ballroom for the Chinese New Year festivities. During the holiday this year, she was forced to evacuate China. Chambers was studying abroad in Nanjing during the novel coronavirus outbreak.
Hi!
Chambers spoke with me from her home in Pennsylvania.
So I was in China for my capstone year abroad, which is the last year of the flagship program. And I was there from end of August until the end of January.
She talked about the conditions in China leading up to her evacuation.
So kind of across the country, they shut down everything. So they had closed for the holiday and then just kind of stayed closed. Malls were closed, movie theaters were closed, most of the grocery stores were shut down. There were lines like crazy to get masks. Pretty much nobody left their house. Wednesday morning, they told us that the program was being discontinued. So within 24 hours, it was just, I knew when I was going home.
URI's leadership team, created to address the coronavirus, helped students book flights home.
So that was also really important because they also paid for our flight home. It was ridiculously expensive. So that was a huge help and also sort of eased, I know, mine and a lot of other students' concerns. And also it's very jarring to be thrown in that situation. And I also went from Nanjing to Beijing and then to Chicago and then to Philly. From when I left my apartment in Nanjing to when I arrived home, I want to say like 27, 28 hours.
When you got back to the U.S., were you screened? Did anything happen?
No.
Health screenings for people arriving from China started 2 days after Chambers came back. Chambers has been in contact with URI Health Services to monitor her well-being. Before being evacuated, Chambers was preparing to move to Shanghai for an internship.
If it had been possible to just sort of ride it out, I probably would have stayed. It was definitely stressful only because, I had had a plan for what I had wanted to do with my life. And it was pretty concrete, or I thought it was. I don't think there was another decision, honestly. They stopped all flights to China.
As for what's next?
I have to decide right now if I want to go back in the fall or not. I decided I kind of wanted to, graduate is what I'm thinking right now, but I'm not certain. I think everyone that was in the program really enjoyed the time they were there. And, certainly was sad that it sort of came to a premature end, but like I said, it was sort of a necessity.
Leah Crowley reporting, Cent Cigar News.
The Fine Arts Center opens its new season with the showing of an art gallery entitled Big Picture. Renowned artists James Sundquist, Toby Sasson, and Jan Wiener created the exhibition in celebration of the process in large-scale painting. Each artist displays integrated imagery to provide insight into the internal struggles and social constructs shown through their work. Big Picture is showing in the Fine Arts Center Gallery until March 3rd and is free to URI students.
URI's Musicians Guild, a DIY music venue run entirely by URI students, hosted its first open mic of the new semester last Friday in the Memorial Union. Independent bands and artists from around the Rhode Island music scene performed for a packed crowd with great music spanning multiple genres. We sat down with some of the night's performers to learn more about the event and some of the great talent Rhody has to offer.
We really want to provide a safe space for people to listen to live music, and we want our members to learn firsthand how to run a music venue, and they really do. You can see in there that they basically are running a full music venue. My favorite part of the open mics is you get to see all these people like in Musicians Guild who sometimes won't get a chance on the bigger shows because, I might not have a band yet, there might be a solo act they're not ready yet. We get to see all the talent that comes out of our own club. Tonight, the open mics, probably around like 40 to 50, but I know at our big, like our shows, we've been having like our best crowds, like 90 to 100 people come out. You can tell it's not because of the bands, it's because we're finally getting a name out there. People are just coming because they know the shows are going to be quality shows and they're going to be fun.
It's really supportive. Everyone's always really supportive and they always listen to you and are really respectful. So it's really nice. Open mics are a really awesome opportunity for anybody to play any type of instrument or do anything that they want to show to everyone.
Everyone's just jamming out, showing what they can do, showing their skills. So it's really going to be cool to see all the variety and stuff going on.
You're just free to do whatever you want, so it's just a really amazing experience.
Getting your name out there, getting people to listen to local artists, supporting local artists is really important. Whenever I go to shows, everyone just kind of hangs out afterwards and we all just have a good time. Open mics are awesome.
And now to Liv Ouellette for this week's Valentine's Day Campus Chatter.
With Valentine's Day right around the corner, I took to the URI students to find out their favorite rom-com as well as what the ideal Valentine's Day is.
My favorite rom-com to watch during Valentine's Day or whenever is probably The Notebook.
All right, perfect Valentine's Day is some dinner, a movie, and two-player Minecraft.
My favorite or my ideal date for Valentine's Day is a fancy dinner at a restaurant.
My perfect Valentine's date is Applebee's.
For Valentine's Day, my favorite rom-com would have to be 10 Things I Hate About You.
So my ideal Valentine's Day date is, I would say, a dinner, possibly a movie right after, and then hopefully just like a nice walk at the end.
My favorite rom-com to watch during Valentine's Day is Crazy Stupid Love.
My favorite rom-com is definitely Sleepless in Seattle.
My perfect date is watching a movie and then going to bed.
But in all honesty, it really doesn't matter what I'm doing, as long as I'm with her.
And now over to Nolan Reilly with your Rhody Sports Corner.
Welcome back for another edition of the Rhody Sports Corner. I'm Nolan Reilly, and with winter sports in full gear and the spring season starting up, we have plenty to get into. We'll start with men's hoops as URI went on a 2-game road trip, first to the nation's capital, then finishing the road swing with a game at Dayton Tuesday night. The Rams faced off against the Colonials of George Washington in a Saturday matinee game, rolling into Foggy Bottom with a 9-game winning streak at their heels. This one was all Rhody from the tip, with big man Cyril Langevin hitting his first career 3 to open up the game. Fats Russell continued his hot play as well, driving with the left, finishing with the right through traffic here. Russell also showing off his jumper as he gets one of his 6 threes to fall. He would have 24 for the game. Jeff Doughton now turning defense into some offense. He gets the strip and the breakaway slam. He's fired up as the senior raises the roof to add on to URI's lead. Staying with Doughton, doing his best washing machine impression with the spin cycle, he gets the tough layup to fall. Rhody would win this one for their 10th straight, 82-51. Now to Dayton, Ohio for a matchup with plenty of juice against the 6th-ranked Flyers, who would blitz the Rams early. That's Dayton guard Jalen Crutcher, 4-3 from the corner to open this one. This would be followed up by an Obi-Top and Tomahawk jam. Dayton would open this one on a 17-0 run. Tyrese Martin would be able to answer for the Rams from 3, cutting the deficit to 10 and keeping URI within striking distance. The Flyers ultimately would prove too much for Rhody as potential player of the year Obi Toppin gets another fast break dunk, this time breaking out the windmill. Toppin would finish with 22 as Dayton cruised to an 81-67 victory. To women's basketball now with Aniekan Okon reporting from the Ryan Center following Tammy Reese and Cruz Wednesday night matchup against the St. Louis Billikens.
Rhode Island is coming into tonight's matchup looking to stay on track for next month's A-10 tournament. Coming into tonight's game, they are currently tied with Richmond for the 8th and final spot in next month's tournament. Rhode Island has struggled the last couple of weeks, winning one of their last 5 games. On the other hand, St. Louis is currently tied for 4th in the A-10. They have won their last 4 games, including a 64-51 victory last Sunday to the George Mason Patriots. Let's get straight to the highlights. The Billikens played a 1-3-1 for the majority of the game. On this possession, the Rams were able to get the zone moving, setting up an open three by junior Aaron Jones. In the second quarter, Kaiser Harrison took advantage of a 15-foot transition jumper. She led the Billikens with 20 points. But Aaron Jones proved to be too much for the Billikens. Here, Davida Dale finds her on the right wing. She finished with a team-high 19 points.
Well, definitely playing the one, I'm not used to that at all, but I think it just kind of shows to my versatility because I know that I could dribble, I could shoot, I could post up, so I think that just kind of shows how versatile I am, and it makes, I think, us that much harder to guard too, like as a team.
Lewis is a very good team. They have great speed, they have good depth, and they have great size. So, you know, when I was looking at the game, I'm thinking, okay, can we match up with the guards, number one? But more importantly, can those posts stop Nicole with their size and their depth? Like they're a great rebounding team, great defensive team, and I was so proud of our fourth quarter execution. And everything we did, those final 10 minutes, we did everything right.
By great execution and 4 players in double figures, the Rams were able to pull out a much-needed 72-63 victory. The Rams return to the court this Sunday for a matchup against St. Bonaventure. Tip-off begins at 1 p.m. Reporting from the Ryan Center, I'm Aniekan Okon, 5 Cent Cigar Sports.
The spring season is now starting to ship off, with Rhody softball opening their season this past weekend at the Elon Softball Classic. URI would go 1-3 on the weekend, picking up a 2-1 victory over Seton Hall on the back of pitcher Sarah Gunderson. Gunderson would throw 7 innings, allowing 1 earned run and striking out 4 to get the Rams their first win of the season. Baseball now opens up their season this upcoming weekend at Lamar, playing a 3-game series against the Cardinals in Texas. Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of the Rhody Sports Corner. For the 5 Cent Cigar Newscast, I'm Nolan Reilly.
So, Evan, do you have a Valentine this year?
Nope. Do you have a Valentine this year?
No. And that's all we have for you today. Thanks for joining us this week here at the 5 Cent Cigar Newscast.
And make sure to check us out on RhodyCigar.com and follow us on Twitter at RhodyCigar.
Reporting from Kingston, Rhode Island, I'm Imani Fleming.
And I'm Evan McAlice. Happy Valentine's Day, or as I like to call it, National Singles Day.